Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be transforming Brittany's nails. We're still going to be using green, but we're going to be transforming that green ombre that we did into a black one and then doing some fun nail art on top. I am so excited to show you guys a transformation of this. I feel like they turned out so good. So we're gonna start off by simply using my Efile at 11,000 RPMs. Along with that, I'm using the 5-in-1 bit from Kiara Sky, and I'm going in and removing her top coat and her current design. Now do notice that it is very important to use a stain resistant top coat when you are doing a very light colored set like the ones that I did on her. I don't know what happened, but it totally just, I forgot, okay? And you guys can see how stained her nails are as she does smoke. So I feel like it is very important, and this is a good example of why you should use stain resistant top coats. So I for sure did not forget at the end of this set to add that on there, especially since she's going to be keeping that milky white underneath. So I'm gonna go in after removing her design and we're gonna refile her nails. I'm pretty much just reshaping them very lightly. I did ask her if she wanted them trimmed down. She said no, so we're just gonna be focusing on reshaping these nails, and then we're gonna be going in and prepping her natural nails. Next, I'm going to be taking the small mandrel bit from Kiara Sky at a speed of 4,000 RPMs. I'm going to be filing her natural nail and any lifting she may have. So I'm focusing just on that growth area, slightly pushing back her cuticle. If y'all did not know and you are new to my channel, Brittany has had an allergic reaction to products that I've used on her in the past. And ever since then, the trauma of her cuticles flaring up, she doesn't want me to touch her cuticles, so we avoid them. Pretty much meaning that I am going to only focus on her natural nail. We're not gonna cut back any of her cuticles. I'm not gonna push back her cuticles either. We are just focusing on buffing off that shine, and hopefully we can get the prep good enough to where it does not lift, because I know sometimes some people need extensive amounts of prep work, but so far so good. She's been doing really good on her retention, no lifting, especially with the products that I've been using on her. They have been working pretty good. So I'm going to be going in just with this small mandrel bit from Kiara Sky, and we're just buffing that off. Again, 4,000 RPMs. You can see me kind of pulling back her skin on the sides depending on which side I'm working with. I use my thumb if I'm working on her left side, and then on the right side I use my other fingers to pull that skin back. You always want to do that. Now I'm going to be taking a lip free wipe and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe, and we're just going to be prepping the nail with that. And then next I'm going to be going in with the acrylic primer from Kiara Sky. This has been my go-to since it is HEMA free and it has worked really good for her. The only thing that I do not like, and I've mentioned it before on my channel, is the thickness of it. It just throws me off, and I do also feel like the acrylic lays on there a little bit weird. So I'm going to be reaching out to them and seeing if this is just because it's an old bottle, or do I need to replace it more often, kind of see what's going on there, and I'll let you guys know in the next video when I do her nails. So once that is applied, I'm going to be going in with the acrylic fill. This is Milky White from Not Polish. It is such a beautiful milky white color, so definitely recommend that. For our monomer, I'm going to be using the Kiara Sky monomer for reference. And then for the acrylic brush, as you guys can see by the red handle, this is the Not Polish brush in a size 12. It's been my go-to and I absolutely love it. So we are just focusing on that fill. I am applying the acrylic a little bit near the cuticle but slightly away. You guys can see it a little bit better as I'm placing it on there, and then I quickly just push it upwards while holding the finger down. The product is going to naturally do what gravity does and go downwards, and then I'm just making sure that I'm cleaning up those sides, tucking in that acrylic, and trying to cover that entire surface of her natural nail. Once that's done and fully dry, I'm going to be going in with my Efile again with the 5-in-1 bit and back up to 10 to 11,000 RPMs. We are going to use very light pressure when doing this. I'm going to make sure that I seal that cuticle area by simply filing that cuticle area, making sure that it's nice and flush. And then very, very quickly, I'm just filing the surface. I apply my acrylic, or I try to apply it nice and smooth so I don't have to do a ton of filing. I'm pretty much just focusing on that cuticle area and making sure that it is nice and flush. If you apply it too thick, it will cause lifting. So do note that you need to either apply it nice and thin or make up for the thickness by filing it down. Next, I'm taking my Tammy Taylor Peel and Stick file. Once again, filing. I always like to do this just to ensure that everything is fully smooth on the side, since I did go in and add a little bit more acrylic. So I'm just going side to side, just focusing on that point being straight down the middle. So I kind of alternate back and forth, and I try to not stay on one side longer than the other because you can overfile. And I'm using about a medium amount of pressure because I'm just trying to get everything nice and smooth. We're going in with a sponge buffer. This one is from Profile's Backstage. I'm going to be buffing the shine away. I'm going to be buffing that surface so that I have a good canvas for our nail art. Now for our nail art, we're gonna be doing the Milky White into black ombre. She requested the black be at the tip. Now there's so many ways that you can create a black and white ombre. It can be very tricky, but it's definitely doable. I have this dab paint applicator from Profiles Backstage, and I also have ombre gel from Not Polished. So that was another really good option, but I didn't want to add extra thickness to her nail. Reason why I decided to go with this method. Another method would be to just simply get black gel paint or gel polish and ombre that upwards. But sometimes it can be a little bit streaky, so I didn't want to risk it. Therefore, I came up with a solution that I would just use this method. I've been trying to use it anyways, so here we are experimenting. I'm not even gonna lie, this is one of those like trust the process type of applications because I was extremely terrified. I do think that I need to invest in a good airbrush machine so that I can also just use that instead of breaking my head on ways of getting certain nail art designs done. So I will definitely be investing in that. But for now, we're gonna be using the black dab paint. And on my Veeda Bella Artista Palette, I just put a little bit of that on there, and I'm taking that little sponge applicator that is on this applicator, and I put a lot on the tip, and then I pretty much dab that pen onto my paper towel to remove the excess, and then I start kind of blending it upwards, as you can see. And then I'm also kind of just angling that little ball on the side. As you can see, whenever I'm applying it at the tip, it's more on the tip, and then I kind of angled it downwards so that none of the paint is on there and I can easily blend that up. I feel like I'm not explaining that correctly, but you guys can see what I'm doing on the screen. Pretty much the same process. I did that on all the nails, and like I said, it's a trust the process. I was very, very scared. So I knew I was gonna have to go in with a second coat just because it was just too like sparse. The color wasn't super opaque at the tip, which is completely fine. I also do think that I could have just applied that with a brush and then blended it upwards the rest of the way. But again, my brain sometimes does not brain. So here we are, just showing you guys the process of how sometimes I just do not function properly. So we're gonna go in with this layer, pop that in the light for a full 60 seconds since it is a gel paint. And then we're gonna be going in with a second layer and just focusing on the tip portion so that that is a little bit more opaque and not super see-through. And then we're gonna go on with the rest of our nail art. Now that that second layer is fully cured, again, place that in there for 60 seconds. I'm gonna be going in with the stain resistant top coat from Young Nails, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply that on top. We are applying this before the next step because we're gonna be using pigments, and if you did not know, pigments typically stick or stain matte top coat since it is porous, and shiny top coat will not adhere any of that. So I went ahead and applied that, put it in the light for 60 seconds, removed the tacky layer, and now we're going in with our nail art. We're doing squiggly lines, which have been an obsession of mine lately. I think it's just such a like easy, fun, cute look. No matter what type of color combination you do, it just looks so cute. So we're gonna be using the Veeda Bella liner for this. And I'm actually taking the Profiles Backstage white gel polish because it has a tacky layer. We want that tacky layer. We need a paint or a gel polish that has a tacky layer to it. That way the product can adhere to it. So I went ahead and placed that in the light for another 60 seconds. And I'm just going in with my pigments. These are from Profiles Backstage. They are my go-to, my favorite. And then I'm using one of their brushes as well to apply the pigments. Whenever I'm switching from color to color, I'm simply just wiping it on my paper towel, just like that, and then going in and dabbing into the next color. It isn't hard. Don't overthink it. Y'all can do this. I know sometimes using pigments can be slightly terrifying, but as long as you have a tacky layer on your color, you should be good to go. And then you can use whatever pigments of your choice. So once that is fully on there, we're just gonna wipe off the excess, and then I'm gonna be adding some little starbursts to the design as well in white. I went ahead and finished that on the rest of the set, just using white gel paint for this and my liner brush. And then we're gonna be top coating once again with the stain resistant top coat, popping that in the light for 60 seconds, adding some cuticle oil. And that pretty much concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a ton, and I'll see you guys next time.